Welcome back to Girl Talk. In case you haven't noticed or heard some of the sweet sounds here at Conant Automotive, we're out in Stoughton and we are finally joined by Joe Conant, owner of Conant Automotive. And today we're just going to pick Joe's brain a little bit. We've all got our questions that we want to ask about our own vehicles, and hopefully they'll help some of you out if you've got some of the same questions, because Joe is the expert. He's going to give us some tips. Welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for joining us. Okay, so we're going to pick your brain a little bit.
Okay.
I have an older car, and I've had it since it was brand new. Actually, bought it new. I've had it 7.5 years. I've now got 120,000 miles on it. So I just moved back here from South Carolina, and I had a regular place I went. They used to send me reminders. They don't anymore because I'm here. What are some things I should be looking at 120,000 miles in terms of just regular service?
Well, the first thing, go into your owner's manual or go online for your particular vehicle, and that'll tell you what interval where you should be at as far as all your fluids, your tune-up, if the vehicle has a timing belt, and so on. It's relatively simple.
Okay, I can handle that. I gotta read.
Gotta read.
Man, or I'll just call you, Joe.
There you go, just call us.
Sounds good. And what was your question, Kristen?
Too. So I just had my car in, well, I shouldn't say just, maybe like a month ago, and for its regular maintenance, and I got it back and the check engine light was on, I noticed. So then I called and they said, oh, well, maybe did you fuel up? Maybe the cap was loose. They kind of made it sound like it wasn't a big deal. But, you know, then you get busy with life and
Right,
is
it's
that a
easily
big deal?
forgotten. Yeah, it is. Because you have one light that basically warns you of could be as much as 700 different codes
Oh boy.
that the computer could tell you. So yeah, you have one light. Well, it might not be that severe right now, but if you let it go, it could be as much as 20, 30 different problems with that vehicle.
What are you doing after filming today?
There we go.
All right.
We'll look at it.
Thanks.
So my question is about tire pressure. I know that keeping your tires inflated is good for the tire, it's good for gas mileage, but I've also heard that you can go a little bit above the recommended amount and get better gas mileage. So, but I'm wondering, is that okay to do, and how much above the recommended amount is okay?
In some cases, let's say if you got a vehicle that you're towing a camper and you're going on a long distance, yeah, you'd probably want to up the pressure to its max that's on the tire. Look on the side of the tire, and that'll tell you the max pressure it should be at. Overinflating a tire for gas mileage, yeah, that can work, but on today's tires where the tires are this wide, if you overinflate the tire, it'll start wearing out the center of the tire prematurely. So you don't really want to do that either. The best thing to do is keep it at the max inflation that's written on the tire. The other thing is nitrogen is getting to be more and more of a popular thing to put into tires. Nitrogen will keep the tire pressure at a constant pressure over a longer period of time than just regular air.
So it doesn't fluctuate with the temperature as much?
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
It's an old racing, NASCAR uses it. They've used it for decades because it'll keep that tire pressure at a constant pressure, hot or cold, or about that.
Yeah,
and
I know.
that will increase your fuel mileage, increase longevity of the tire. There's so many benefits that you can't really list them all.
And a little less running back to the thing to add some more air if it's getting
Right.
colder and that kind of thing.
Correct.
I liked your point too when you mentioned to look at the actual tire rather than the sticker inside the door, because my tires are no longer the original tires.
Correct.
I thought that was really interesting.
And make sure when you buy a tire or you get tires that they rate they get the right tire for your vehicle, because there's so many variables there. And don't always go with the cheapest price tire. That's always a no-no, because you're not going to get what you want. And realistically, for what you pay for tires, yeah, they are a high-priced item, but they're keeping you on the road. They're keeping you stopped. They're keeping you going. They're keeping you safe. And it's just something that people overlook an awful lot and let tires go to the last mile.
Yeah.
And it's, I'm on the road too, and I want. Yeah,
Especially heading into winter, you
Yeah.
know, you get a little bit slick
Yep.
and you've
Yeah,
bad
well,
tires.
anytime. I mean, raining, it's just because we're summer, rain, you can still slide off the road
Good point.
from, bad tires. So
So we're soaking up the last little bit of sun here, trying to catch our memories of summer. But as Janet said, it is starting to get colder. Are there any specific tips that you have for folks going into winter of things that maybe we should have looked at?
a good battery. That's the key. It's not 20 years ago or 30 years ago where we had carbureted cars where you know you need to tune ups, this and that. I'm not saying don't get your vehicle tuned up, don't get it checked, but a good battery is the key to everything. A good battery will make a car that's so neglected on its tune-up and maintenance still start. And I recommend, you know, every 3 years, even if a battery is rated for, you know, 6 or 7 years, because the battery is going to fail with you when you're in the grocery store on a Sunday night when it's raining or snowing.
Yeah.
So for what a battery costs, it's relatively cheap for what you're going to get.
Cheap insurance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
batteries and are overlooked, and they're, again, don't always go with the $29.95 battery. Get a good battery. Spend some money, because if you go what it costs you per month for that battery, it's nothing. It's less than going to the store and buying pop every 2 weeks, realistically. So, but yeah, a good battery is the key.
Well, going back to tire pressure for 1 second, like how often should we be checking that? Like, should we wait till a light comes on, or
No,
should we?
no, that's when it's too late. Basically, since the good old days of the full service gas stations where you go and gas up, and they would check your tire pressure, they would check your, you know, wiper blades, they'd check your oil, they'd check everything. Those days are gone. So now it's on us, the car owners, to make sure that the tire pressures are checked. But to answer your question, especially when it gets cold, when we have a big dip in the temperature, I would say keep it going like once a month, because you're going to lose air pressure. I think it's like 4 or 5 pounds every month is you lose. Well, if we drop crazy, you know, going from a 20-degree day to a minus 20-degree day, we see a lot of cars in here for flat repairs because of the temperature change.
So if my car
Really?
says check tires, that means I'm getting a flat tire.
Right.
Yeah, you need to stop waiting for the
True
lights.
story.
Houston.
Didn't you have two
Come
flat
see
tires?
Joe.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, we appreciate all the pointers, and you're the expert, so thank you for coming
thank you.
on
I
our
have
show
fun.
and helping us out with these pointers. And if you have any of these questions, this is the guy to come see over in Stoughton. Worth the drive if you're not nearby, here at Conant Automotive. And we appreciate it. Thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining
guys.
us. Thanks to our guests, and thank you for watching. Please join us next time here on Girl Talk.